What's up, YouTube? So just another little quick update on the 40-gallon breeder. One of the things I've been dealing with is the fact that this Tidal 75 by SeaChem is supposed to be pretty quiet, and I don't know if you can hear that. It's not too quiet. So I've decided to scoot this filter over a bit, and I'm gonna put this guy in, the Marineland Penguin Pro 375, which is also supposed to be quiet. Put them side by side and see which one is the quieter of the two, and whichever one wins is going to stay. So let's get to it. So like the intro just said, I'm going to put a Penguin Pro hang-on back filter side by side with this SeaChem Tidal 75. That I just think is a bit louder than it should be. I read some reviews that people say it is pretty loud, and I don't see why. I took it apart and didn't see anything lodged in there, and when I put it back together, it was considerably quiet for about a day, and then it went back to being noisy and humming and whatnot. I thought maybe it was harmonics, maybe it was vibrating against the rear pane of the glass. It does have the leveling spacer behind the filter that's got actually a rubber O-ring to kind of dampen out some of the vibrations if there are any, but that's not it, because I don't feel any vibrations, and it didn't really seem to make a difference when I messed with it. So again, I'm going to put the other filter next to it, let them run side by side, and kind of see which one I think is quieter. Whichever one is quieter will end up staying, and I will probably end up getting a second unit to run side by side. For redundancy, but I also wanted to have one filled with ceramic media for the biological filtration, and then the other one to handle pretty much all the chemical filtration, and one that I can add and remove carbon as I see fit. So that's the plan. What I'm going to do now is go and unpack the Penguin Pro, and we'll get this thing installed, and we'll see how we do. All right, well, I got everything unpacked here. You get the two filter cartridges that are going to go in one of those, each one of those chambers there. You get your intake strainer, you get your telescoping intake tube, which will hook up right down there. And I think this is some sort of extender, or I don't know, I'll read the instructions, but it looks like it might or might not be required. We'll see. You got your rollers here, which the reviews I read suggest that the design has been upgraded so that these don't hang up. Got your flow control here, and you got this little ring here, which from what I read seems to help with the harmonics created by the motor, so you don't get any vibration noises and cut down on the noise, which is the purpose of this purchase and this video. Here's the pump, like I said, that's actually supposed to be in the water column now. It's got a minimum water line, so long as that water line is not below there, you should self-prime in case there's some sort of power outage or when you're doing maintenance, which is kind of cool that you don't have to kind of pour water into those chambers to get them going. So yeah, let me get this thing all kind of set up right here and assembled, and I'm going to put it over in the tank, and I'll be right back and we'll fire it up. All right, so that was pretty quick. It took me about 2-3 minutes to set this thing up. You want to rinse the cartridges. I rinsed them with some RODO water, set them in place, remove the protective paper. It wasn't really protective paper, it was just letting you know that you don't need to replace these bio wheels unless they're physically damaged, which, anybody that's been in the hobby long enough knows that once they serve their purpose, which is for biological filtration, and that's supposed to be where you're getting it, you don't ever want to replace them because you're going to be losing that. So that's all that was really telling you. Found out that this little guy here, when you open it and close it, it provides some sort of mid-level straining action. Not really going to use it for two reasons. One, because it made the intake impact the sand bed, because this tank's not that deep. And most of my surface filtration or my skimming is being done by this little guy, the Marineland surface skimmer, which I highly recommend to anybody that has any sort of issues with floating debris or biofilm on the top that aren't running a skimmer. That usually would help with that. Awesome little purchase, 25 bucks, recommend it to anybody. Yeah, so pretty much good to go. I'm gonna fire this thing up and let's see how we do. All right, she's plugged in. You can kind of hear it siphoning water, and she's off and running. Gonna kind of adjust the flow, see where we're at. That's the bare minimum, which is I think 37 gallons per hour. And I'm gonna crank her up to the top. And I mean, already you kind of see one wheel isn't spinning. Where that one freely is. I don't know if maybe it's this thing not being level, but it should be, because it's not really adjustable. Oh, there we go. Alright, I gotta kind of see what's going on with that. But so far so good. See, I'm getting a crap ton of micro bubbles right now because the surface skimmer works off this little floating piece here that kind of moves up and down with the level of the water. And obviously once this thing fired up, it pulled water in, so it reduced the tank volume. So let me go add some water to this real quick and kind of solve that. So be right back. Okay, so I solved the micro bubble issue just by adjusting, like I said, the level of the surface camber by sliding it up or down in relation to the water level. I have shut off the shut off the Tidal 75, and right now the Penguin's running at full capacity, and I can already tell you I don't hear anything. So far so good. I'm going to watch this closely to see if that changes. But so far, if this were to continue, I would say that the nod would go to the Penguin. But again, it's only been plugged in for about 5 minutes. That noise you hear is actually the fan for my Relassi 600 watt. Which seems to be spot on because it kind of comes on and off as the temperature fluctuates. It's set to come on at about 113 degrees operating temperature, so it kind of comes on and off. The fan's not too loud, I can live with it, but right now it's off and you hear nothing. There's the fan kicking on again, see? So I don't know, CJ. I don't know if you guys got to go back to the drawing board on this one or not, but so far the Penguin's got you beat on noise alone. And I can say that because in this tank here, my Mantis Shrimp tank is a Tidal 55, and that thing runs whisper quiet. No issues whatsoever, no noise. So I don't know why the 75 is an exception. But like I said, I have read where people say that the Tidal 75 is loud, and no one knows why. So yeah, so I'm going to keep these running side by side. You know, whether it's overkill or not, again, that's kind of up for debate. You know, some people say there's never too much filtration. Some people say there is. I do like the fact that once they're both on, they're both going to provide a pretty good amount of surface agitation. Again, the tank dimensions being what they are, the fact that there's no other power head in here or wave maker other than the flow that's coming off that little guy there. I can see that the fish do have a current to contend with. I mean, the water's not going very far before it hits the front pane. It kind of gets distributed among the tank. So I'm going to also keep an eye on that and see if I have to add some sort of wave maker. But for the most part, yeah, we'll keep this test going. So far, I'm pretty happy with the Penguin as far as noise is concerned, just because it's pretty close to where my living area is, and I don't want to be hearing constant humming coming from my tank when I'm watching TV. Once I know it's there, I can't tune it out. So yeah, anyway, that's kind of this video in a nutshell so far. I'll keep updates coming as I see anything changing, but for the most part, I'm happy with the Penguin. Ease of operation, ease of setup, packaging, all around the reviews I read are spot on. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely a lot more coming to this build as I start to fill this tank and stock it and whatnot. More updates coming on the Mantis Shrimp. Stuff coming and changing for that. And also updates on the Fluval 13-gallon anemone tank that I've set up. And yeah, thanks again. Keep coming back. Content will get better, I promise. And see you guys soon. Take care of each other. Be safe out there. Thanks.